Okay. I was at a protest this weekend. Um, and one of the things that I recognized was anger, so much anger, right? That is out there, rightfully so. There's a lot of strong emotions. And, it left me feeling, really deeply thinking about what is the purpose of anger and how does anger serve us and what do we do with our anger? And it led me to think about Thich Nhat Hanh, which I'm sure some of you have studied his work over the years. But one of the things I always remember, I was lucky enough twice in my life to be in his presence. One of the teachings that I deeply remember him talking about was that you have to tend and care for your anger, that it's not something that you can just let it be all by itself to just be this explosive force willy-nilly. But that really it takes a lot of mindfulness to kind of bring ourselves into relationship with our anger. Um, so I kind of looked back into some of his teachings yesterday, and I watched a video of his that, well, first of all, it's just lovely to see him in his younger self and, before he died. So that was a blessing in and of itself. But one of the things that I realized was that, anger has this capacity to spark, right? And so, an example, yesterday when I was at this protest, I was at the ICE headquarters, their offices in Colorado, and anytime someone was leaving their parking lot, the mass of people that were there kind of like had this moment of attack onto the vehicle that was leaving. Not physically, nobody touched the vehicle. There was a lot of crowd control, but there was this, a speaker would be speaking, and then all of a sudden, all this energy would move in a very aggressive way toward whoever was leaving the parking lot. And it made left me so unsettled. First of all, a lot of cursing, a lot of pointing, a lot of physical energy of anger, a lot of verbal energy of anger, and it left me very unsettled. So to think about what to do with that anger, instead of allowing it to just erupt, which is how we get into these bad places to begin with, is not having the capacity to have spaciousness where our choices of what we do with our anger have much more time and space. If you think about what happened last week in Minneapolis, perhaps that officer, the ICE officer, if he had a little bit more capacity to manage his emotional states, he might not have gone to such extreme measures so quickly. And I really do think that all of us have the capacity to be like that, to be very peaceful and to be very quick to a reactionary state. Fortunately, those of us, most of us around the planet don't have a gun in our hand when we get to that place of reactionary behavior. So how do we tend to this? How do we make sure that we have a handle on our anger and can use it wisely? So what Thich Nhat Hanh talked a lot about when I've seen him speak throughout his whole life was this managing of the anger that we hold. And what I kind of was refreshed yesterday listening to him speak was that mindfulness is that you can have all these seed emotions kind of hanging out in the base of our consciousness, and that when one erupts into the mind and into the consciousness, if it's by itself, it can be, very explosive, something like anger, that it can be the seed emotion, and that when it erupts into our mind, it can be very strongly felt. And that if we bring mindfulness with it, if we are able to hold any emotional state with mindfulness as it arises, we can recognize it quickly and we can embrace it and we can care for it. So he likened um, caring for your anger like an older sibling or a mother, caring for a child. That, when you see a child that's upset, your first instinct is to care for the child and to hold them and support them, and to embrace them. So Thich Nhat Hanh talked a lot about embracing your anger in this way, that we need to have a lot of compassion and tenderness toward our anger so that we can hold it and not ignore it and not let it just run wild. And that if we do this, that when we recognize and then embrace our anger, it gives us an opportunity to look more deeply when it's held as to what is this anger really all about? What are the roots of it? What is it? What is the karmic cycle of it within us? And how do we transform, have the insight to transform our anger into more healthy behaviors? So, samsara, if you don't know that word, it's just the cycle of karma, that when we get trapped into a behavior pattern or a habit of mind or a habit of body, that it's this cycle, and that we have to break that cycle somewhere around along the way. And when we have mindfulness and concentration, we have much more capacity to understand the cycle and to break free of it. And when we do that, Thich Nhat Hanh was saying that not only do you break free of create liberation and freedom for yourself, but you also create it for the people who taught you that way of being, your ancestors, your parents, the culture that we live in, and that we pave a new path for those who come after us as well. So, what I took away from it was that practicing mindfulness is really a beautiful gift, so that whenever we have any emotion, mindfulness can arise with it. And then we can have this capacity to care for and look deeply and find insight within it. So, how do we do this in our yoga practice? All the time we do this, right? We're cultivating presence, we're cultivating mindfulness, we're cultivating concentration, the ability to be fully present for what is, so that we don't get caught off guard from hidden agendas that are happening in our mind. So it helped me when I was at the protest and saw this like assertive, aggressive, kind of eruptive voices and quick eruption of anger. It made me realize that we all need to tend to this, that what would happen if the world was not so reactionary, if every one of us, in all the ways that we have the capacity to influence the world, if we were calmer and had more mindfulness around embracing our anger and looking at it deeply and figuring out what it means and how to act, I think things would change a lot. So, on that note, when we come into practice, really all you have to do is just work on your mindfulness so that it's there for you in all the moments that you need it. So let's begin with grounding ourselves, feeling a sense of rootedness in your seat. So get into a position where you have some roots and you have some grounding, and the body feels comfortable. And see what it feels like to open yourself up into your breath and place your mind, that seed of concentration, that seed of mindfulness onto the breath. And it may seem so simple to just observe and know that you're breathing in and observe and know that you're breathing out. It might feel boring at times to move that slowly in your intentionality, but really train your mind to just be the witness of the present moment experience. The breath is always one of our greatest tools for recognizing this. So watch your breath. You could very simply say inside your mind, I am breathing in, I am breathing out, or this is my in breath, this is my out breath, or just in and out, or anything that serves. And you don't have to have words in your mind, but if that's helpful to train the mind on the experience of the breath, use any tools within your basket. Begin to broaden your awareness just a little bit more where you feel your body in your breath. So, not just the experience of breathing, but the experience of your body breathing. What sensations do you feel on your in breath? What sensations do you feel on your out breath? Is your body posture shifting or changing? Is there anything that you need to adjust or change for a greater sense of ease or freedom in your body? Is it hard to put the mind on the breath? Is your mind like a dog racing around? Can you put a bit of a leash? Can you be that calm presence of awareness and concentration on one thing, the breath? Now notice as you are just sitting here breathing, what distracts you away from your concentration on your breath? Are you noticing thoughts that come in or sensations that are drawing your attention away from the breath? See if you can just keep tuning in and back toward the sensation of breathing. When you're ready, place your hands together at your heart and now bring your attention to the simple mudra of your hands touching. Feel that sense of concentration and offer an intention here. We will release our hands and find our way onto our back. So just because we're moving into a different position with our body, see if you can maintain that feeling of your breath throughout our whole practice. Keep returning over and over again to the breath as best as you can. As you lie down on your back, begin to stretch your arms overhead and enjoy just the simple stretching through your body. And as our awareness grows, we can notice ourselves moving in space. So just this simple act of stretching your arms overhead one at a time and moving through your legs, can you just be in what you're feeling? Try to suspend everything outside. Use that skill of pratyahara where we're tuning in instead of tuning out. And then draw your knees into your chest. A little bit of rocking, a little bit of swaying. And then circle the knees, rolling in one direction. I think it's very easy when we have uncomfortable emotions, fear, anger, resentment, jealousy, greed, any of the challenge, despair, any of the challenging emotions spin the other way. We can often distract ourselves from them, kind of get involved in something else that pulls us away, but not recognizing that those seeds are still there. And what would happen if you just allowed yourself to really feel your way into whatever those challenging emotions are, whatever erupts when it erupts? Maybe nothing's happening this moment, but throughout the day, if something arises within you that's uncomfortable, instead of distracting yourself from it, turning away from it, see what you can do to imagine embracing, like holding a child that needs some care. Right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground, and let's move around in your ankles. See if you can use your mindfulness to wrap around the emotion like a hug, so that we can learn what it is that we're actually feeling and why. What can we do to create and shift things? All right, and then cross that right knee over to your left. Stretch open through your chest, breathing deeply, and maybe move your arm around, sliding your arm on the ground as you twist open. Enjoy the sensations as they start to arise in the body. Bring yourself into embodiment. Let your head rest on the ground. Draw that knee back into your chest. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and hug your knee in. All right, and then release your head down. Switch sides, left knee and right leg long now. And move around in your ankles here. Wiggling your toes, getting your feet to wake up. Breathe again. Melt through your head. A nice good squeeze of that knee. And then we'll cross the knee over to the left knee over to the right and breathe. Stretch open through your chest, move around in your shoulder. See, maybe your head wants to turn. Maybe you like a little movement and a rocking in this. Maybe stillness feels better. And then reach that left knee back in toward the center. Pick up your head, a nice little squeeze. And then stretch that leg out, starfish on the ground, reaching your limbs really wide. Open your body up. Let's roll our wrists and our fingers while we're here. Take a deep breath in, hold your in breath and squeeze your body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then exhale and release that and draw your knees into your chest. So a little rocking again. Sometimes, if we're holding a lot of emotions in the body, a nice good squeeze of our muscles can do a lot to kind of discharge. There's lots of things you can do to discharge emotional states and let them move through the body instead of holding them. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Pick up your head, squeeze to a tight little ball. Keep all your air out. Stay squeezed. And then release that, stretching open to a star. Deep breath in. Exhale. Draw your knees in. Let's roll over to your side and come up onto your hands and your knees. Find some movement in your body. Find some breath. Okay, arching and rounding the spine, taking a little time. Breathing deeply. How's that breath living within you? Or are you letting it move as your body moves? Okay, and then feel free to wag your tail or move things around, move your shoulders, wiggle through your spine, any kind of movement that feels really nice for you. And then we'll settle back to a child's pose and walk the hands far out in front of you. Feel a dropping of your sit bones down toward your heels. Find your breath. We'll walk the hands over to one side of your mat so you're opening up through your side ribs. Feel your
groundedness in your hand and in your hips. Melt through your skull, the back of your neck. And then we'll walk the hands over to the other side. And are you noticing embodiment? Are you noticing mindfulness where your mind is present in what you're feeling? Be aware of your breath. Be aware of the sensation of the stretch. Come back up onto all fours. Let's move around again. Move your left arm up in the air. Find a little rolling of your wrist and then thread that arm under, twisting. Breathing well. Alright, and then face the ground, collarbones wide. Drop your hips back toward your heels. The arm is still underneath you. Stretch your shoulder. Alright, and then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hand down onto the ground. We'll switch sides. Arm up, roll your wrists a little bit. Exhale, drop that shoulder under. Gaze toward the floor. If your eyes get tense, find your breath. Enjoy the twist. And then face the ground with your chest, hips back toward the heels. Collarbones broaden. Stretch open through this shoulder. And then inhale, bring that arm back up in the air, reaching the arm high. Hand down onto the ground, lift to a dog pose. Take a little time for some mobility. Pedal your feet. Dropping one heel, dropping the other heel, enjoying. Finding your breath. All right, walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, forward fold. Relax your skull. Let your head bobble a little bit. And then come up onto your toes and back onto your heels and up onto your toes and back onto your heels. And then ground your feet and feel your roots melt into your forward fold. Push through your feet, rising up. Bring the arms to the sky. Find that extension and length reaching. And then bring your arms out, thumbs up for a moment, stretch through your heart all the way through your fingers, and then turn your thumbs down and just feel a little change of the stretch through your arms. All right, reach the arms up, some big arm swings here. And then arms up one more time. Cactus, open your chest, elbows bent. Exhale, round in, chin to chest. Pick up your head, hands stay together at your heart. Ground into your feet. Breathing in. Breathing out. Stick your roots into your right foot. Lift up your left knee and find that sense of simple balancing here. Breathing in and breathing out. Just getting your balance muscles alive and well here, and then we'll drop that left foot into the ground and pick up your right. Find your breath. Maybe your balance is good on one side and not so good on the other. Try to detach from expectations or results. Just be in what is. And then release that foot down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Relax through your head. Open up the backs of the legs. Inhale for a halfway lift, expanding through your spine. Exhale, melting to fold again. Step back to a dog pose. Hands wide, feet wide. Spread your toes, spread your fingers. Take a little time here if you'd like to move. And then we'll come forward into a plank. Shoulders away from the ears, hug toward the midline with everything. And then we'll put our knees down on the ground and find the earth. Roll the shoulders a few times here and then slide the hands forward and lift to a wide cobra with your arms wide out in front of you. Exhale, releasing back down. Bring your hands closer toward your chest now. Shoulder blades down, elbows back and bent. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Take your hands underneath your forehead. Take your legs just a little bit wider to the edges of the mat and lift your legs up. Toes are pointing down for this first round. Stabilize your core. Keep your low back intact, no smushing. And then release your legs. Lift up your knees a little bit and turn to the inside edge of your knees, resting on the ground. And then we'll lift the legs again with that external rotation of the femur bones. Protect your back with your core. And then release and melt. Put your knees back to neutral, feet up in the air. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. All right, come up onto all fours. Move around in your spine. Give some wiggles. We'll take our left leg straight in the air behind you. 2 hands on the ground. Look at the ground. Find that symmetry between your hands. And we'll take our left leg out to the side, stabilizing through your core. Wake up those outer hip muscles. Find your breath. And bring that leg back in. Put your knee down. Changing sides. Right leg up. Find your breath. You're still breathing in and breathing out. We'll bring our leg out to the side, ground through your hands, look at the ground, find your core, press your shin into the ground, lots of work in your hips. And bring that leg back to center, stretch back toward a child's pose. Relax your legs. Come up, back onto all fours. You can always take fists on the ground or forearms on blocks. Take your left leg straight back behind you, right arm out in front of you. Stabilize here. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, elbow and knee underneath. Stay present with your experience. Slowly reach your arm and leg out. Exhale. Drawing it in. Nice and slow movements here. One more time. Reach the arm and leg out in front and behind you, and then out to the sides. Arm out to the side, leg out to the side. Press the ground. And then come back to neutral child's pose. Give your hands a little bit of a shake. Breathing deeply as you rest here. I'm breathing in and breathing out. Last time on our hands for a bit, so you can always change if your hands are finding it challenging to be on the ground. Switching legs. Now our right leg is behind us and our left arm is out in front of us. Press hand and shin into the ground. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, elbow and knee come underneath. Inhale, bringing it out. Exhale, bringing it in. Is this side more challenging to you or less challenging to you? And after 3, we'll come back out to the long arm and leg in the air and then bring them out to the side. Engage your core. Press your shin and your hand into the ground. Lift your leg and your arm. Look down. Breathe. And then we'll come back to neutral. Sit back on your heels and give your hands a little bit of a shake. Find your breath. We'll rise up onto our shins, arms up. Exhale, hands come down, child's pose. Grab some blocks, bring your right foot forward, left foot back, come to a lunge. Ground your legs, root down, find your breath again. Start to move with your breath as you begin to open up your legs, bending and straightening that front knee, moving with your breath. Perhaps your toes pick up, perhaps your toes press down. Just see what feels right for your body as you begin to straighten that leg. All right. Come forward, step onto your right foot, hands on blocks, lift into a half splits. Extending through your spine here, square the pelvis. A deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck in, knee next to or behind your knee, one-legged squat. Inhale, pressing straight. Exhale, drawing in. And again, how's your breath? Pressing that leg straight, take a step back, press and lunge. You can always put your back heel all the way down to the ground if you need it for balance. Reaching the arms up, feeling that steadiness. Open the heart, expand. All right, and then we're going to turn sideways on your mat. Turn your feet out a little bit and come to a deep, low squat. So our knees and hips are in line with each other. You're not dropping your hips lower than your knees. Ground through the four corners of your feet. Open up your legs in this way. Find your breath again. Then turn toward the front of your mat back to a dog pose. Feeling that extension in your body, yield into the earth. Notice where you are in space. Give your body that attention, the mindfulness, presence. Come forward on your on your breath to a plank. And then find the ground. Take your arms overhead, legs wide, arms lift, legs lift, everything lifts. Exhale. Come back down. Come up onto all fours. Wiggle around in your spine and stretch back to a child's pose and let your back open up. Breathing deeply. Grab those blocks if you like them. Bring your left foot forward. Come to a lunge this side. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Find your breath. And when you're ready to start moving, move with your breath. Straighten that leg and to bend it. Enjoy the simple act of just mobilizing your body with your breath. When you feel ready, hop up into half splits on this side. Left leg's on the ground, right leg's in the air. Extend through your spine. Engage your core to help support you. Keep lifting your left hip up. Take a deep breath in as you exhale. Drop in, Jiva squat. Push through your foot. Straighten your leg. Inhale. Exhale to drop in. One more time. The next time your legs straighten here, step back, have faith. The ground is there. Crescent lunge. Arms lifting to the sky, feeling that extension in the body. Open up through your heart. And then we'll turn to the side of our mat again. Feet turn forward, Pasrita. Just release your head down, legs stay straight. Lift your quads, relax your head. Go as deep into this posture as you would like. Try not to let your hips go past your ankles. Try to keep your hips over your ankles as best as you can. All right, great. And then turn back to the front of your mat. Walk your back foot forward. Come to Uttanasana. A halfway lift. Grab some blocks underneath your hands. Take your feet hip width apart and then isometrically drag your feet apart from each other and just light up some muscles in your hamstrings, your glutes. And then release and relax. Stick a block between your shins, longest width, so your legs are a little bit wider perhaps than your hips. Okay. And we're going to come down onto all fours with that block between your shins. Okay. Take a deep breath in, arch your back, lift the tail, release tension on the block. And then as you exhale, hug the block in, round the spine, and feel the pelvic floor activate a bit by pressing the shins into the block. Twice more. Inhale for a cat, or I guess that's a cow. And then exhale for the scared cat. One more time. Release the block a little bit as you lift the tail, lift the chest. Exhale, hug the block. Lengthen your spine up toward the sky. And then relax that. Neutral spine, hands onto the ground, curl your toes under, lift to a dog pose with that block still there. And see if you can get the sense that you're dragging your feet apart and making contact still with the block. Reach through to the block, grab it, and stick it now between your thighs, narrow width of the block. Bring your feet a little closer to each other. And then same thing, pull your feet apart at the same time as a gentle inner spiral hug on that block. So if the block was going to go somewhere, it would go out behind you. Okay, so a little internal rotation hug on that block at the same time as pulling your feet apart. Notice your breath. Come forward into a plank, still holding that block. Hug to the midline. Imagine you had a block between your arms as well. Okay. Then let's walk our feet forward. One more thing with the block here. Ground down, come into a chair pose with the block still high between our thighs. Squat down. Inhale, reach your arms up. And you can always put your hands down if you prefer. Put a little extra weight in the heels. Use your pelvic floor to help you feel that sense of dragging your feet apart and hugging the block. Activate a lot of support muscles. And then release some of that tension. Come up onto your toes. Inner spiral hug on the block. Bring your arms out to the sides. Relax tension in your neck. And then slowly lower your legs down or heels down onto the ground. And let's get rid of that block for a moment and just stand with your legs neutral, hip width apart or a little closer, whatever feels neutral and natural to you. Unlock your knees, feel the weight of your body on the ground. And we'll repeat that first balance pose we did. Bear weight into the right foot, pick up your left. And just notice the support of that leg, the standing leg. Hug the hip in. Feel your pelvic floor, lift your spine, lift your arms up in the air. And we'll twist now, adding a layer to this posture, turning to the left. And if your foot taps down, totally fine. Just find your way. Try not to push the pelvis forward. Inner spiral your thighs. Root your foot, lift your crown. Coming back to center. Place that foot down onto the ground. 2 feet, let them feel your support. Okay, so, or I should say, let the legs feel the support of the earth. So go all the way into your feet and breathe. Rock into your left foot, bring your right knee up. Balance poses, try your best to just let it be a skillful means toward developing mindfulness instead of an attachment to a result. It doesn't matter if you're wobbly, if you tap down, if you're stock still, none of it matters. It's the presence that we bring to the posture. Arms up, left thigh back and hip in, unlock your knee. Make sure you're still breathing and twist to the right. Drop your shoulders, lift your crown, focus your gaze softly. And then come back to center and put that foot onto the ground. And just notice the strength of your legs, the hard work that they're doing. A full breath in, a full breath out. Okay, one more sequence in this standing sequence here, the balance sequence in this way. Standing on our right leg, we'll lift the left knee up, reaching the arms to the sky. Familiar, third time we've been here. And oops, am I doing the right leg? I think I went with the wrong leg, but that's okay. So we're going to turn to the left. Find your breath. Breathing deeply. And then come back to center. Bring the hands together at the heart. Tip forward. Stretch the left leg back behind you. Engage your core. Virabhadrasana 3. Take your arms back behind you. Lengthen your spine. Find your full breath. And then we'll come back right through where we started. Lifting that knee up in the air. Arms to the sky. And place that left foot down onto the ground. Pause. Taking care of your breath. Are you here? Is there anything distracting you from your presence? Maybe it's the I'm good at this pose, I'm bad at this pose. Does that distract you from your presence? I like this pose, I don't like this pose. I wish we were doing this today instead of that today. See if you can just be in the breath and body, no matter what the challenge that comes is. Drop weight into your left foot. Bring your right knee up. Hug that hip in. The left hip hugs in. Unlock the knee. Reach the arms up. Find your breath. We'll tip into the twist first. So bring the arms out to the sides. Turning to the right. Keep hugging that left hip in, and then we'll reach the arms up. Bring the hands to the heart, tip forward. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Bring the arms back behind you, engage your triceps, find your core. Imagine that block still between your legs, your pelvic floor kicks into gear. And then let's meet where we started, bringing that knee forward and up, arms to the sky. How's your concentration and your breath? Place that foot down onto the ground, fold forward. Step back to a dog pose and stretch out your feet. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Come forward into a plank. Find the ground. Take any variation of a back bend that you choose. Exhale and relax again. Come up onto all fours. Move your spine around. Wag your tail if you'd like. Toes curl under. Dog pose. Stretch your calves. Walk your feet forward. How's your breathing? Push through your feet, rising up. Trace down through the center of the body. Find your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Unlock your knees, feel the soles of your feet, feel how grounded it is to have all this contact with the earth. Come up onto your toes, reaching the arms upward. Exhale. Slow back onto your heels. Let's move this. We're going to do it twice more. Super slow with the breath. Inhale. Slow that breath down as you rise up. And then exhale, slow. Bring your heels down, arms down at your sides. Move very slowly here. Give yourself time. What would happen if all the choices we made, all the words we spoke, all the actions that we did came from a slower steadiness where we had more time for choice, more time for mindfulness in how we respond. One more time. Practice this in the small things. Maybe take a whole breath cycle before responding to someone when they ask you a question. Maybe pause for a whole breath cycle before you turn the ignition on in your car. There's so many potential movement or moments in your day where you can pause and have a moment of mindfulness. Bring your attention to everything that you do. All right, keep your feet on the ground. Notice your Tadasana. Let's go ahead and find our arms lifting up one more time. And then we'll exhale and fold forward. Stretch your hamstrings a bit. A halfway lift here, opening up through your spine. Exhale, melt again. See what it feels like. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Put your hands, palms facing up, underneath your feet. Climb your toes to your wrists. Palms are under your feet. Bend your knees. Relax your head. And then begin to straighten your legs, whatever place they go, where your back is still in a nice neutral spine. Reach your heart forward. And then relax and melt that. And we'll come down onto our knees and come to lie down on your back. We're going to do a few slow moving bridges, just like we did that slow lifting onto our toes. So this time we'll first of all, just give your toes a little swirl, your ankles a swirl, your toes wiggle. Feel your feet and then ground them. Take a deep breath in. We'll lift our arms up, our pelvis up, neutral through your spine. And slowly exhale to lower your pelvis and your arms back down. We'll do it once more with the arms. Okay, on the in-breath, we lift. Arms overhead. And on the out-breath, we lower. Slow the breath down. This time, keep your arms down. Find your breath. Lift your pelvis. Hold it here. Climb onto the tops of your shoulders. Ground through the four corners of your feet. Slow, steady breath in. Slow, steady breath out. And then we'll lower our pelvis back down. Relax here for a moment. Let your body feel the ground. So nice after the balance work to feel so much contact with the ground. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh. Draw your knees toward your chest. And begin to stretch a little bit here through your hip. If you'd like to transition this to a reverse pigeon, just slide your right foot onto your left knee. If you'd like to stay with your thigh over your thigh, do that version instead. All right, put your feet onto the ground. Pause here. Full breath. Let's cross our left thigh over our right thigh. Draw your knees in toward the chest. And if you want to turn this into a reverse pigeon, you can, or you can stay right where you are. And we'll release the legs down. If you like using a strap, grab a strap, right foot in the strap, lift that leg straight up in the air. You can keep your left foot on the floor or left leg on the floor. Root your femur bone. Just feel your hamstring open up here. You can flex and point your toes if you'd like, or just flex them. Find what feels right. And then we're going to just take Supta Padangusthasana 3. So take the strap into the left hand, cross the right leg over to the left, and press your femur bone away from your chest. Maybe play with inverting and everting your feet. So reaching the outer foot further away and then reaching the inner foot further away. Relax that, and we'll switch feet, left foot into the strap. Find your breath. Root your femur bone down. Maybe a little flexing and pointing, getting your foot and your calf to release a little bit. Balance poses take a lot out of that part of your body, a lot of stabilization in your ankle and foot. And when you feel ready, you can take the strap into your right hand and cross the left leg over to the right. Heel of left hand presses the top of your thigh away from your shoulder as you pull the strap toward you just a bit. And then dance with the foot. You can stretch the big toe and inner heel away from your body, and then stretch the pinky toe side of your foot away from your body, and just play with that stretching of the peroneals, kind of getting into the ankle, and I can feel it all the way into my hip when I do this. I hope you can too. And then lift that leg 2 feet in the strap for a moment. Just enjoy this. Anchor down some weight into the ground. Relax your spine. And then we'll let go of the strap and grab your feet for a happy baby pose. Maybe a little bit of rocking feels nice. Maybe a little stillness feels nice. Maybe a little rocking plow feels nice. However you want to transition now towards Shavasana. So if there's any other pose that your body is like, oh, I need that, then by all means do that. And then when you do feel ready for Shavasana, get comfortable. Is there any support that you need? Is there any warmth that you need?
Do you want anything between your knee or underneath your knees or a blanket over you? Do you need something to cover your eyes? Shavasana is not a throwaway pose of, oh, now I'm done. It's very much an important, if not the most important pose that we do. So as you begin to settle, return your awareness to that feeling state of grounding and of melting. Give your body to the earth. Feel your way into your breath. Slow and steady. Full breath in and a full breath out. Begin to deepen our breathing. Feel the weight of your body and mind at rest. Again, notice I am breathing in and breathing out. Invite some movement.
And as you feel ready, come to your side and then bring yourself upright, taking your time, moving slowly. Many opportunities to cultivate the mindfulness that can help us when you're cooking, when you're washing the dishes, when you are brushing your teeth, when you're driving the car, when you're falling asleep, when you're doing anything at all. Anything and everything has the opportunity within it. And you're taking a bite out of anything that you're eating, savoring. Okay, so many choices, so many opportunities to bring us into presence. Let's bring our hands together. Let's offer gratitude for our practice. And send the calmness, your calm heart, the part of you that has taken good care of you and tended to your state of being. Offer this outward. See if you can create a healing balm to send to others. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.